And good morning, Dave in the AM here, Southern Fried Podcast, Southern Talk on a Saturday morning. I hope you're doing well for a Saturday. Hope you got your Friday ending well and got started on your weekend. And then you've got all day today into tomorrow, unless you're working, and then you get back to work or however your work schedule may go. I actually work a little bit myself on Saturday, quite a few hours actually, but I do podcast in the morning and then Sunday morning and Sunday night, sometimes Sunday afternoon. It's going to be a busy week coming up. I guess I say that every week. There's so much going on really in everybody's life and including our own. Uh, Again, condolences to my family and the loss of our aunt and to her kids who lost their mom. My baby sister is flying in, is going to go to the funeral. We spent a lot of time together, all of us, growing up and throughout the years for family events. We will see her again in the by and by, as we say, but we will pay our last respects. This weekend in Rome, big funeral. They're paying their final respects to the Pope. I'm not Catholic, but there are over 1 billion Catholics in the world, and they are paying their last respect from wherever. Many will come to Rome and pay their respects, and so you will see a lot of activity there in the Vatican and around the Vatican City, and as they mourn the loss there, and as they will elect a new pope. We're going to take just a quick break. I know we just started, but I need to get the commercial break in, and then we will be right back. And we're going to get into some news. There's a really sad news about one of the Epstein accusers this morning. Happened last night. A lot of controversy. We're going to talk about that here in just a minute. Let me run just a quick ad about our store. We'll be right back.
Yes, Robert and Dave, y'all.
Southern Fried Podcast fans, this is Dave in the AM. I want to tell you about our store. We've been promoting it a little bit. We wanted to promote it a little bit more and let you know we've been adding some designs to it, and we're continuing to do that. Right now, there's a summer sale going on. You're going to see here in just a second what kind of discounts you can get. They're pretty amazing. Our old store became cumbersome and it was not easily updated, and we have since went to a new store, and the old one is still there, and if you decide to shop there, that's fine. But this is our new store, and it is so easy for us to manage, and we want to thank the folks at Threadless for that. So on the screen right now, you see some shirts, some of the different designs. One of our newest one is the Georgia outline, the red one. We really like that. You see some of our classic designs. You see some here that you may not have seen before. And again, we're designing and adding to just about every week. You see hats. There is just about anything in there. And we're trying to add more products all the time, as well as those new designs. So go shop at the Southern Fried Podcast store, and you'll be able to get some of these things too. Here's the QR code for that. You can see at the top of the page, 40% off right now. These are amazing prices going on. The store is very affordable. Me and Rob wanted as best the prices as we could get. And this is the place that we found to be able to do it. And there's the address. You can copy that out or use the QR code. We thank you for your support of the Southern Fried Podcast and watching the shows and supporting us and letting us know how much you enjoy it. You mean a lot to us. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you soon. All right, we're back. A good morning shout out to Miss Kim, Kim's Coffee Talk. Hope you're having a glorious, glorious Saturday. Absolutely, another chance to reset. I don't know if Kim, if you broadcast on Saturday, maybe you do. I should know that. I get Saturday's pretty busy for me, but I catch up a lot. Sometimes I catch your older shows. When I can, I watch a lot of podcasts on Saturday when I'm not podcasting. Pass the time and catch up with my friends. But if you're having a show today, greatest of blessings on that show. And appreciate again all those that came into the chat last night. Do reach out. Please reach out to Mr. Alexander Duncan and get him on your show. He's impressive. Got an uphill battle, but that they're getting their grassroots going to podcast. That was an intentional plan of theirs to break free around these legacy media. They've got a lot of support in okay, do a Friday replay. Okay, gotcha. Thanks for listening, Miss Kim. They intentionally went to podcasters. That was set up only about 2 weeks ago. Actually, they made that announcement on a Friday night while we were doing Front Porch Talking, and that was the show. It was 2 or 3 weeks ago. I want to say it might have been 3 weeks ago. I was and I said Front Porch. It was actually Mama said it was on Monday night because I was really busy. And Rob says, Dave's really busy over there. I said, well, I'm scheduling a show. And that was the show that I was scheduling. They responded real quickly, and I wanted to go ahead and get the date set. And so we were able to get him in. Love to have him come back. They're very agreeable to that. But they are looking to get onto these podcasts. And I just think it's like one, we don't just look at Georgia where we're at. We look across the nation. We'll look at any of those races, especially those that are high level as this. But we'll look at any race. But I think it also speaks to races in Georgia and how what a close state we are. And then those midterms and how important they're going to be. There's a lot of these races are going to, I don't think anybody thinks that one is going to fall into Democrat hands, but it's critically important. And there is problems with that for President Trump. And we need someone like Mr. Duncan to be in there and impressive. I know that came through. He's just has a great outlook. I wish we'd had even more time. We could have dove in. He's got a lot of interesting ideas. He just checks all the boxes. I think I can say that. And when you look at his Ballotpedia survey, and what I told him is the truth. I've worked for those ballot places where they really give a grade. He would be very high on the conservative scale, very high, the highest grade for everything that he answered in his. He does have a vote record. That's the only thing he lacks. But they, because he's just starting, they would look at donations to the candidate and the donations from the candidate. So that would be a score. We don't have that information. We don't know in that early on. We don't know who's donated to him. I would suspect it's very conservative, if any donations thus far, if he's had those. I'm sure he's had some. And then donations that he has given, those are looked at. We also would look at his social media. Now, for what he has, it's very good. His main webpage has his a pretty good amount of information. It doesn't go to the depth of the survey though. That's why I used the survey, but it does have a nice depth there. There's a pretty good bit there, and he does, as he said, use his X account mainly, and he's very active. He's got a lot of followers on there, and we appreciate all of them watching and commenting. And sharing the show out, helping him, and you helped us too. We appreciate that. I know you're just trying to help him, but we do appreciate that. And so you have that information to look at. And I was going to say, and I told him off the air, you would be amazed at how many candidates, or maybe you wouldn't be amazed, how many candidates take this for granted. And when we go and research a candidate and you look at their social media presence, it's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. So it's very frustrating if you're trying to grade a candidate on and give them a score, and it goes all the way from very conservative to all the way up to the other end of the scale, very liberal. There is many grades in the middle. You have moderate, you have, slightly conservative. That just depends on how that particular organization grades out. There's a few of these out there. And one of those things is you look at, uh, like I said, you look at the donations to, the donations from, you look at their vote record if you have any, you look at their social media presence, speeches, just like him coming on our show. Those would be things that people would grade and determine what kind of a conservative score they have. The survey is not meant to be taken in a. It doesn't hurt you if you don't do it, and we don't grade on that survey as the totality. The vote record really is, and the donations would score heavily. But for someone who does not have much of those things, and you're trying to break out there, that survey and your social media presence and interviews you do is great because you state your platform, you state what you stand for. And a conservative immediately, I really thought when we set up the interview, because of where he's from and before his campaign materials, he would come in with a cowboy hat on. And when we pulled, he came in before the show, and he's wearing his hat with Jesus on it. I was like, "Amen. This will play well." I so love that you're putting your faith out there and not ashamed of that, and it just speaks well for him. But he had so many other little things in the survey. He really got some detail, and he said, I felt like I needed to really explain myself in that survey, and he did. So there was like many points under some of the questions. A lot of times, candidates will only score or only answer parts of the survey that there's no controversy. But when you get down there, and I'll tell you, as a conservative, it's big for me. The pro-life question, obviously, Second Amendment, border protection, all those things that you look at, those are things you really love to see some deeper discussion on, because sometimes they can be very vague. They give a stock answer. Well, that survey is kind of graded on that, kind of how did you, it's really the survey and the ones I've done, it's left up to the scorer to score it however you want. And you got everything from each answer can be anywhere from a 0 to 100. And then you can give the overall grade of the survey. His was off the charts. Actually, I said, of all the candidates I've ever scored, is what they call that, the scoring of a candidate. You do research for weeks. You never score your own candidates. I've done Texas many times, and I've done even school boards, but I've done Florida, I've done and Georgia, but you never do your own district because you may have a connection there. But in all the time that I've been doing those, I've never seen a survey as prepared and as well done as his. And it's not even close. I've seen some that were very good, but it was not even close. Folks, I wanted to make sure that was known. I'm not saying there was not any out there, but of all the ones I ever scored, and I've done many races, multiple people in those races, especially when you're doing primaries, you will have, you might have 8 to 10 candidates in one race, House district this, Senate race this. And then we do several of those. So you do, race, House race 13, 15, 18. You just do different ones. So you might be scoring up to, anywhere to 50 to 60, 70 candidates. And so you have to do a little bit each day. It's not something you can do. I tried to do, 2 to 4 a day. Sometimes life gets in the way, but you have a deadline, you get those in. Then we come back together and we agree on the score as a group. There's a group that you're in, and each of you are scoring, and you're leaving notes for each other too, which helps flavor in things you found. So it's really good. And then that voter guide goes out for the voter to use as a guide when elections come. So you may have, some people may be very familiar with them, some people is not. I've seen, I would, say like I said, he is very strong on X. I'd love to see him get a Rumble presence. Absolutely, and maybe he will. But there's a couple things we could help, advise, just that we see, as someone that's doing that, and to be a help, because I think he's really, it's an uphill climb. There's no doubt, but he can do it. I said he can't do it because God can move anybody in, anybody out that he wants in an office, and we certainly know that God could use him in that. But there's a lot of power in that seat. But y'all pray for him, and if you can, bring him on your shows if that's something that fits within your schedule. I don't think you'll be disappointed. If you were watching him last night, you would say the same thing. And then we hope to get him back a little bit closer, maybe into. Maybe even into early 20. We'll probably touch base probably late in the year, but certainly into next year, early next year, as it's really heating up. I'd love to have him come back around if time permits. I hope he's so busy it's hard for him to find the time. Honestly, that he's just so busy across the state. But great thing to look at. We're going to be keeping up with this one, and we hope to have many more in. I'm also interested. I don't know that we would get them on here, but I'm interested in that Florida governor's race. That's a big one too. As DeSantis will then move on, he's not allowed to by term limits. So, we do a lot. We do politics. We do a lot of different kinds of things. We've interviewed local candidates before, and there's some that we're still trying to get on. And some of these that are looking to break free, these these are the ones you want to make that connection with now, so that you can have that relationship. So if they do get elected, you're more than likely going to be able to continue to have access and an interview with them. And so some of them, and it's already in there. It's really hard. Their time is limiting, especially when we are new. We were very new when we first started. We're going to circle back around and try to get Colton Moore on. We tried to do that for the last election. I haven't talked to him on the phone. It didn't work out. We're going to try to get Marjorie Taylor Greene on. We didn't get her. We tried. These are folks that we did get Mitchell Horner, a local representative, and he said he would come on anytime. Of course, we've had election officials on, and we were blessed to have that. But those were early on. As we cross over our first year as a podcast, we're going to be doing more of this. And as 2026, the races are really light this year. in my area, but there'll be going into next year, it'll be really big. So I would suspect in early 2026, through the election, you'll see us have quite a few candidates on sitting and/or those that are running for that seat. We'll reach into some powerful races that are very tight and see if we can't get some of those for you. And hopefully that would help you. Thank you for the like, Terrace, and safe journeys to you wherever you're at. We hopefully that will help flavor, because some people, they just don't have the time or take the time to go and study. So we'll put a face and a name and let you hear that, and we'll try to do that as much as possible. So there'll be some more of that coming along. But happy Saturday. Looking forward to a great weekend. We're going to be keeping up with the race this weekend at Talladega. Lots of racing. They'll be racing all weekend. And then on a Tuesday will be, I believe it's Tuesday. Yeah, well, probably we can do it any day. If James can come in the studio, haven't talked to him. I'm trying to remember what day he is off. I think it might actually be, it'll be Tuesday for sure, I believe. We will do the racing hour, but I'll clarify that, and we'll get the racing hour in this week. Looking forward to that. And does Kyle Busch finish the race? Poor Dean. Can't believe we got Robert to have fun with that. But yeah, we'll be keeping up with that as well as some other things. This story it's it's just there's never been true justice for any of this. And yeah, we could say, well, Epstein, but there's controversy over his death. And then we have the accuser. This is a sad story. She was living in near Gabby, Australia, and it is announced that she committed suicide. Now, nobody believes this. Nobody. Go out and look on anybody commenting on this story across the social media world, and you won't find anybody that believes this was a suicide. I don't know if it was or not, but people are going to doubt it because of all the people that are connected and what has happened to him as well, being Epstein. And it just, as she was, really trying to get justice for that, she encouraged others to speak out. And there's a lot of people that never have and probably never will be brought to justice. Thank you, Sleepy Vandango. Good morning to you. We probably will never see justice for this. There's always hope that some of these people will be perp walked, but just a sad, sad story. And of course, she filed a lawsuit against Prince Andrew, and that claimed that she was forced to have sex with him 3 times between 1999 and 2002 when she was underage. But a sad, sad story. Pray for her family. Of course, they put in the same article that he died by suicide in the story. And you don't find hardly anybody that believes that. So it was her family said this statement, quote, "It is with utterly broken hearts that we announce that Virginia passed away last night at her farm in Western Australia." They said in a statement, end quote there, they said in a statement to NBC News, quote, "She lost her life to suicide." They do call it that. We'll just have to see what comes out of this. Her family did say that. After being a lifelong victim of sexual abuse and sex trafficking, end quote. Virginia was a fierce warrior in the fight against sexual abuse and sex trafficking. She was the light that lifted so many survivors, the statement said. Quote, "In the end, the toll of abuse is so heavy that it became unbearable for Virginia to handle its weight," end quote. This is just horrible. Her attorney said Virginia Giuffre was, and I may not pronounce that right. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing her last name exactly right, but Virginia was much more than a client to me. She was a dear friend. Virginia was fearless, and her courage pushed me to fight harder, her attorney said, Sigrid McCauley. Virginia's sunny strength was contagious, and her smile spread hope to so many. She lifted us all to be better, and so we must be better. The world has lost a light that shone bright. Rest in peace, my sweet angel. She was a native of Florida, and she was, of course, recruited by Epstein's girlfriend, Miss Maxwell, to work for Epstein when she was just 16 years old. Truly heartbreaking for as a story, and to her family, pray for them. You're not, you don't get over something like that. And if it was, as they say, her family is saying this, if it was suicide, either way, she is not with us anymore, and that is truly sad. Life is always, it's always hard to watch life go, be taken from us. But if she is in a dark place with this, and that's just truly sad, truly, truly sad. And the fact that there's so many who walk free, who abused her and many other young ladies, it just makes this truly even a much sadder story. And my heart goes out. Y'all pray for especially her family, and pray for justice. Absolutely pray for justice. Let's not ever give up hope that justice will be served to these jackboot perverts who have just ruined so many people's lives. And there's a lot of people. And to the administration, I would say this: uh, you've drug your feet. You have information. This should have already been out. We should see much more than we've seen without redactions. Make it happen now. You've already blown it. Don't blow it anymore. To whomever, I'm not going to name the names. We know who's over those things. But ultimately, all the way, use this weekend to let it speak to your heart that come Monday morning that you must do something with this. As you take your weekend and you sit with your family, you let this news just soak into your soul, and you find that spark within you that says, no matter what, no matter where it leads, no matter how far it goes, no matter who it names, no matter what damage comes out of it, too much damage has already occurred. And I must, as a good American, I must let the American people know the full truth of this. No matter what friend, what foe, what anybody, no matter, like I said, no matter where it goes, let this be the call right now to do it. And if you have if you have a soul, you will do this. You cannot sit back. Leaders lead. True leaders lead. And good men and women cannot sit on their hands and just not do something. This should resonate across our justice system, really the justice systems of the world, to say, okay, it may crush me in my career. It may, but I'm going to do what's right. And that's what we expect leaders to do, is to stand, to be that person that stands on that wall and says, not on my watch. And I don't know that will happen, but I truly pray for that end result, that her light will truly shine out of this, and that these people will be in the cuffs and being taken away in indictments and serving the rest of their lives in jail for what they did to these young girls. And I don't care who it is. I don't care whose name it is. It does not matter to me. There is no allegiance to party affiliation or anything else. We're talking about the abuse of these young ladies, and do something about it. And let's pray to that end that they can't sleep at night and they cannot rest knowing that this young lady, whether by forced means, as some are saying, or truly by suicide, whatever's going on here, whatever dark forces are at play, and there's darkness at play, no matter which way you go with this, there's a darkness involved. And it all emanates from the same darkness. It's demonic, it's satanic, and we need something to happen to change the course, to strike a blow for good, for the light, and to cleanse the sins of a nation. And certainly across the world, but I'll say for America, cleanse the sins of our nation. And there are many. We're a great country. I love this country. We're patriotic, but this is a stain on us. There's definitely people involved who are Americans, and this has got to be something that sparks something to happen in this, and let's get it done. And somebody at a very high level is going to have to say, that's it. And so you wrestle with your conscience this weekend, if you have one. I know everybody has one, but if you recognize your soul and you're listening to that small steel voice, or your conscience, or whatever you want to call it, you listen to that, and you you do something about it come Monday. And you walk in and you say, with that look in your face that you're set to the wind and there is no stopping you, and you get it done. And then just say, listen, we let her be the face of it. Let her be the call. It's went on far too long. This story just keeps getting uglier, and when will it stop? And it just won't stop until something's done. There has to be justice. There has to be something. It can't just be a prince who won't be king, or he loses some money, or some position, but he still rides around in freedom. It can't be just Epstein, and that we're left with the phrase they were Epstein. That's what we've got, or Miss Maxwell, jogging inside of her, medium or low security prison, serving out her days. That cannot be the end of this. There has to be more, and the American people have been demanding it for a long time. People of the world have been demanding it, and this young lady and others like her was demanding it, and now look where we're at. And it's too late for her to see that, but just not too late to do it and say, for her and others like her, this is going to stop, and we're going to name names. Let's get it out there. They know more than what they've got. They won't even release the stuff that they've got. They won't release it without redaction, heavy redaction. Get it done. You gave us fairly useless information, very vague. It's just not enough, and you know that there's more. And I'm saying this morning, this really is heartbreaking. I agree with her family, and much more. And I can't even know what her family is going through and has been through. I'm not even going to try, but I say this is truly horrible. Moving on, Trump and Zelensky, as said, had productive discussion in first meeting since the dust up. There's some images coming out of them talking. Late last night, I seen that many of the major points of the cessation of the war, the ending of the war, have been agreed upon. There are a couple left, but the major points have been agreed upon. So we're finally starting to see some activity on this. It had been rumored for a couple of weeks there that there was going to be something, but now we're seeing face to face. Those who are representing the U.S., Mr. Wickoff and others, are involved. And of course, with the Pope's funeral, they're all there. They're face to face, and literally they're sitting in a chair, face to face, and standing and talking. There's a few images that have occurred, and this is good. It's good that they're sitting there. It's good that they're talking. I think the president is firm, and I think his words are ringing true. The bloodshed must stop, and let's get it done. Let's stop the bloodshed. We're not seeing that's all that's happening. It's just more people are dying. There's no really ground being taken either way. It's just a little back and forth. Those lines have kind of just sit there, and we're in this quagmire of death. And so let's pray that is truly going to happen. They didn't say exactly when they met, but there is the image there, and that beautiful, wherever they're at. Wow, what a beautiful place there. I'm sure it's in the Vatican City somewhere. But Zelensky tweeted that the meeting was, quote, very symbolic and could potentially be, quote, unquote, historic. So he said in his quote on X, he uses X a lot as well, good meeting. We discussed a lot one-on-one, hoping for results on everything we covered, protecting lives of our people, full and unconditional ceasefire, reliable and lasting peace that will prevent another war from breaking out. Very symbolic meeting that has the potential, he says here, to be that, to become, historic if we achieve joint results. Thank you, President, or he puts at POTUS. So we'll see, and that's on his X. So very good. Let's hope for that. Let's hope for that to occur. And I know that there's been discussions with Vladimir Putin from Russia and his advisors, and we'll see what happens here. This is great news. It's, it'd be a good place to do that. We're at a funeral representing a lot of death that has occurred, uh, across between this war, hundreds of thousands. There's no real number to go by. Um, it could be well over 1 million counting both sides. I believe that it is counting deaths and casualties, those that are injured to the point they can't fight anymore. Um, President Trump, for his part, said a good day in talks and meetings with Russia and Ukraine. They are very close to a deal, and the two sides should now meet at very high levels to, quote, finish it off, end quote. Most of the major points are agreed to. Stop the bloodshed, and in capital letters he puts now. We will be wherever is necessary to help facilitate the, and in capital letters again, end to this cruel and senseless war, end quote. Trump wrote on his Truth Social after arriving in Rome on Saturday. So we will see what happens. It would be great if we came out of the weekend and we had an agreement. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told reporters at the Oval Office on Thursday this war is endable. Both sides just have to agree to it. And he also said there were good meetings over the weekend, which were presumably focused on ending a conflict. Trump said that he was sticking to his own deadline for achieving peace and added that he believes there is a very good chance of getting a deal done. So that's the latest. Let's look for and see what happens as we get more into the weekend. This would be great, and it's good for the world. It's good for the world for this to be over. It's good for us. We've lost a lot ourselves, not in manpower, but in every other way. We'll never see an accounting, an end result on that. And as he said, it's just senseless, just absolutely senseless. Excuse me. And then of course the news this week will center around, because of, again, there's so many Catholics, and it's a big news item. Who will be the next pope? And we'll see. NFL draft continued continued. It will continue today. Thursday was round 1. Friday was rounds 2 and 3. Today we'll focus on rounds 4 through 7. I guess the biggest news of the draft was the sliding. Even the president spoke out about it, of Deion Sanders' son, Shedeur. And so Shedeur had posted, thank you, God, for everything. There were 5 quarterbacks taken. There's always one that falls. There's always a quarterback. And every one of them, they use it as some don't handle it right. Remember when Geno Smith fell and he took it as racial and all this stuff? Early in his career, he just wasn't getting it done. He has since turned it around. He's done a lot better. But, you've lost some money. Just go in there and show them what you could do. Don't take it personal. That it's some deeper. It's just the way things happen sometimes. And so, he thought he was going to be very high up in the draft. Those things happen. And I don't know that these quarterbacks deserve to be drafted over him. I can say a couple of them I believe did, or at least one of them. Cam Ward for sure. I probably should have been drafted over him, my opinion, from Miami. But Jackson Dart, Tyler Slow, Jalen Milroe from Alabama, and Dillon Gabriel were all selected ahead of him in the first 3 rounds. It is an unprecedented, stunning fall for Sanders, who some mocks had as their number 1 earlier the offseason. After dropping out of the first round, Sanders admitted that he didn't expect the fall. He even became the culprit of a prank call who told him he had to wait a little longer. That's happened before too. Watch who you're taking phone calls from when you're in the green room, that's for sure. But late in the 3rd round, Sanders took to X to keep some confidence. Thank you, God, for everything, he wrote. Sanders has plenty of opportunity to be selected, but with the first 3 quarterbacks taken over him on night 2, he clearly was not on many teams' radar. Slow went 40th overall to the Saints. Then came the 3rd round, where Milroe went 92 to Seattle. And the Cleveland Browns, who had numerous chances at Sanders, took Dillon Gabriel 3 picks later. Earlier this week, reports started to shun Sanders, with one coach saying his formal meeting with the quarterback was, quote, the worst, end quote, adding that he is, quote, entitled, end quote, and, quote, not that good, end quote. Uh, sometimes, fair or not, those interviews do carry weight. People say, why do you go through that? Just look at the on the field. Well, they're investing a lot of money on someone, and some quarterbacks don't do well in interviews. And so maybe this kind of spread throughout the league when people heard that. He'll be selected. Sanders will feature rounds, or Saturday we'll have the rounds 4 through 7. There's 150 picks remaining. The Tennessee Titans no longer need a quarterback. Kick off the fourth round. That kicks off at noon today at the NFL draft. The Raiders have the 6th pick of the 4th round, but at this point it's anybody's guess. The article says where Sanders will land. I would say it's shocking he was not taking the first 3 rounds. I'm not shocked he wasn't taking the first round, although I wouldn't have been shocked if he was taken. But I thought for sure in the first 2 rounds he would be taken. So undoubtedly there's something there that has, cast a shadow over him. So we'll see. Hey, Jerry, you have a good morning too, and have a blessed Saturday and good morning. And weekend. Thanks for dropping in to say that. It's always good to hear from you, even if it's just for a minute. Hey, and I hope that Boston butt and all that meat was good, brother. You made me hungry showing all that. I hope y'all had a fine meal that day. Boy, it was making me hungry. You talking about all that smoked meat, man. Oh, I loved it. Um, it's like that's like putting the pig in the ground or something. Y'all was ready to throw down on some food. So I'm gonna have to get. I told my co-host he gained 10 pounds. The rub or the um, I'm spice that's local that you mentioned. I will send you the money. I'd like to get some of that and try it. You said it's a local guy. I'd love to support those local people, those small businesses, and all that. Just let me know. I'll send you plenty enough. Give me an idea of what that would he charges for that. You can just private message me. You got my phone number, whatever. Text me, email me, whatever you want to do, and I'll be glad to send you. It won't cost you anything, brother. A little bit of time, but if you could send me some of that, or if he does that, let me know. I think me and Rob both would like to try it. We talked about that, so I don't remember the name of it, but I'd like to try it. I do a little grilling myself. Haven't done any this year. I've been so busy, but I want to do some, and I would like to try that. So it's got to. It was good because he said he gained 10 pounds. Oh man, I tell you what, man, I pay. If you don't eat meat, it doesn't offend me whatsoever. I am not offended whatsoever that you don't eat meat. Just don't try to convince me to not eat meat. Hey, I'm always going to like a good steak. I'm always going to like some ham. I'm always going to like some pork chops. I'm always going to like some sausage. I'm always going to like some bacon. I just don't see me not ever liking those things. I'm always going to like me a good hamburger. And I don't. Hey, listen, I got nothing against turkey burgers and all this stuff, but don't give me this. I want a meat. I want a beef burger. Come on, I'll eat the other, but come on. I got you, brother. I will mail you, or somehow we'll get together and I will get you that money, and I'll send you plenty enough to send me a couple of bottles and the shipping and whatever it costs to ship and the packaging and all that, and then I will send some on to Rob, and we'll give her a try and support him at the same time. So we'll do that. You're down there in God's country. We got to get those that are travel into that great triangle of area you talk about there. So I love it. His church is on a mountain. That's not a mountain. It's not even close to a mountain. It's close to a hill, but not a mountain. The legend of Cornish Mountain. I love it. I love that things that have that local flavor to them, that local, little bit of something about it, and a little mystery of why. I love it. Sometimes we don't need to know the answer, and it leaves everybody guessing and asking about it, and that's what makes those local legends so fun. The lore of an area could be the lore of the cave. People, where's that cave? People talk about where's that spring at? People talk about that. I love that kind of stuff. Around here, we have people that called one area because we have a lot of springs that were around here. Still are many of them, but people talk about Rock Spring or Rock Springs, and there's actually the official signage, a spring. There was a spring, but in the way we kind of do things, you'll still hear people say Rock Springs. I don't get ticky on stuff like that. Some people get offended at that. I have probably said springs more than I've said spring in my life. I try to catch myself, but you know what? I'm not a wordsmith. Many things I say, I try to be on point on the podcast, but at the same time, I'm not gonna. It's not perfect, and if you try, it's just gonna look like you're forced it anyway, and I don't want to be that. I don't want to be thinking about. That's too much thinking for me. We and Rob have said from day one, if we make a mistake, we make a mistake. We're not editing it out. We're going live most of the time anyway. We don't go back and fix things. The only thing we would do if someone asked us, we did this one time. We were asked to update something. We just pulled the whole thing on one of them, I think, if I remember right, or we clipped part of it because there was a little bit of information we didn't have exactly right. It was going on what we thought. We corrected it. We just pulled it, I think. I don't think we even edited it. We just pulled that part. And we don't have a problem with doing that. Didn't bother me a bit. I'm not offended. So have a great day out there, brother. I hope you and your lovely wife have a great time. I think, that was next week. They're having a church-wide youth yard sale, something like that. I think I saw on Facebook. That'd be a fun time. Hopefully, you'll raise a bunch of money for the youth activities and things that you want to do with them. That's cool. Churches coming together, getting the stuff out of the storage. We've all got something that we can put in the yard sale or the garage sale or whatever for charity. One man's junk is another man's treasure, as they say. Some cases it might be a treasure. One man's treasure is definitely someone else's treasure. I love that scene in Andrew Griffith's show when they're trying to raise the money for the guy being evicted from his home, and the guy's picking up something, a piece of mail or something, and he said, "Well, what is it?" He asked how much it was, and he told him. He said, "Well, what is it?" He said, "Well, if I knew that, I'd have to charge you." I don't remember what he said, a quarter, 50 cents more, a dollar more, whatever it was. So you getting a discount because I don't know what it is. If I put a name on it, I got to charge you more. I love that. He's always wanted one of these and don't even know what it is. A good friend of mine sometimes catches our podcast. He would tell you himself, I won't say his name, but he would tell you himself that he never throws anything away. And he always has something that he can put together to temporarily fix something, as he would say, gadget of some kind. And he has a great story of coming back from Florida and losing Universal joint and what he did to get it as far as he could with, as they say, duct tape, belly wire, and a prayer. Although that wasn't what was involved, it was kind of the same idea as they traveled up the interstate out of Florida, got it as far as I think Macon before it said not another step, but it got them closer. And then the rest of the story is, let's say, well, Paul Harvey of what they did to get the fix occur in and to get it home. So this guy, it kills me, man. I would have never started that journey with what he told me he was dealing with. Never. Some people just crack me up. I'm always thinking about all the what ifs when I'm traveling hundreds of miles. I mean, I'm thinking about if I'm traveling 10, you measure, okay, we're good. I got a little problem here. I would never go out of state and go move somebody with what he was telling me he was dealing with. But some birds just fly a different flight line, and his is definitely different than mine. But he's a mechanical kind of guy, and he knows how to gadget something up to fix something. My nerves would be shot. I couldn't do it. I just could not do it. One of my sons is like that. He does not bother him. He's in fact he will say all the time, "Well, I wouldn't have a problem dropping to California and back right now." And I'll look at him like, "You would, you wouldn't." I'm not like, "Well, we got this issue we got to fix." Yeah, yeah, but it'd be fine. Different flight line. I'm not saying it's good or bad flight line. I'm just saying it's a different flight line, and I wouldn't be real comfortable in flowing along that same flight path. I remember some friends of mine, one of them deceased, one of them still living, decided to go, oh my goodness, multiple states away. Started a journey and only had $20 to their name and whatever gas they had in the tank. And they took this trip. I said, "What in the world?" They just bum money and stuff along the way. They just sit somewhere to somebody help them. They made this journey on $20 in a prayer or $20 in a bag. Not me, brother and sisters. I'm not doing it. I am not doing it. There's no way I would do that. But unless God said, now if God said, let me clarify here. If God said do it, I'm doing it. But of my own volition, there ain't no way you'd get me to do that. All right, another quick break. We'll be right back. This is Dave in the AM on your Saturday. A little Southern talk. We'll come back with a little Southern Fried MAGA this morning too. We'll be with you up till around 12:30, somewhere in there, on and off. We'll take a slight break in the middle. Let's do a little commercial for Dubby. We'll be right back. Hey, Southern Fried Podcast fans. This is Dave the AM for the Southern Fried Podcast. We want to advertise for W, who's got some special things going on. So are you tired of those energy drinks that you drink and they give you the jitters and the crashes that come from the typical drink? Look no further than W Energy Drink. It's a revolutionary new beverage that will keep you energized without any of those downsides. For a limited time, folks, W is offering an incredible 30% off on everything they sell. That's right. You can stock up on your favorite flavors and save big while enjoying the smooth, sustained energy that only W can provide. I'm a customer member, and I can testify to this. I love this drink. No shakes, no crashes. And if it can help my mental acuity, I'm happy too. Awesome. They have a unique formula that provides you a perfect balance of focus and vitality without any of those unpleasant side effects that we don't want. No more of those shaking hands, crashing you in the middle of the day. Just pure, clean energy to help you tackle any challenge that comes your way. But don't wait too long. This 30% offer won't last forever. Go on over to W's website now and start shopping. Remember to smash that promo code Southern Fried into the area where they ask you to put that in there, and it'll help us as well. You're still going to get the 30%, but it'll let them know that you are supporting us, and so we appreciate it today. So try W Energy Drink and experience the difference for yourself. Your body and mind will thank you for making the switch to the energy drink that truly delivers on its promises. Don't miss out on this fantastic opportunity to save big and upgrade your energy game with W. Don't forget, use that promo code Southern Fried. This is David the AM with the Southern Fried Podcast. We are now an affiliate of Podbean. Podbean is an audio platform which helps you get your voice out there. You can go online and go live from your very phone that you use. You don't have to have a lot of special equipment. It's nice to have a studio, but it's expensive. You can do those things from your phone. Hey, I was a listener of Podbean before I even became a podcaster. Maybe you've thought about being one. There was a time when I didn't think about being a podcaster, but think about it. You've got things to share. It could be as simple as baking, or it could be working on a car. The stories are endless that you could come up with to be a podcaster. And there are people out there that want to listen and to your stories and to your shows. And we're thankful for all those that watch and listen to us. Podbean is now an affiliate of the Southern Fried Podcast. Unless you're a business plan, that would be the bottom one. The one on top, use that. You'll get discounts. And also the Southern Fried Podcast benefits in this as well. I love Podbean. They also help launch out to many other audio sites. This saves me time. Time is precious. Time to be on the podcast, time for research, time to be with family, and yes, time to work. Yes, we still work out there in the workforce. So become a podcaster. Use Podbean. And when you use these links, one of them, you will save money and you'll also help the Southern Fried Podcast. Thanks so much for all your support. Take care. We'll see you soon. And welcome back. Welcome back. Yes, Podbean is not on Podbean currently. I didn't go live on Podbean this morning, but many times when I'm podcasting alone without my co-host, I do Podbean. So I've got lots to load up to Podbean this weekend, but I didn't do this show. I'll load the show up. I just didn't go live with Podbean. It's a great platform. We would highly recommend that. So. And it gets us out there to many other audio sites. Other news this morning that broke is that President Trump and Iran, President Trump through Witkoff, is having talks with high-level nuclear talks with Iran or Iran. And so Iranian state television has reported that the talks began in Muscat, the mountain-wrapped capital of on the eastern edge of the Arabian Peninsula. A person close to U.S. Mideast envoy Steve Witkoff speaking on, of course, those conditions of anonymity to discuss the closed-door talks also acknowledged the meeting had started. So there's been no specifics on those meetings, but they are meeting to try to get a deal done. There's been 2 previous rounds of talks in Muscat and Rome. And talk is going back and forth. I think the president has remained steadfast that he is willing to deal with Iran in even military ways if we can't get a deal done. But this is another really big and important discussion that's going on. So important. Meanwhile, Saturday, which would have been ahead of us, but sometime into Saturday, our time, a massive explosion rocked a port in southern Iran just after the talks began, injuring at least 281 people, reports say. Authorities have offered no immediate cause for the blast. So we don't know what that is. Nobody's taking, it could be, who knows? It could be sabotage, it could be terrorism, it could be special forces. It could be just an industrial accident. There are things that happen. And they could, or they could have been building a bomb and blew themselves up. Who knows? You never know in a place like that. The president has said that he will airstrike Tehran if they can't get a deal done, if a deal's not reached. So, the fear is here that they're going to get a nuclear weapon, and with their stockpile of uranium, enriched uranium, which is getting close to weapons grade level. So we'll see where this goes. Peace is always best if we can have it. I'm not advocating for war, but you're going to have to. It's peace through strength, and I'm sure that they are letting them know. If you're lying to us, if you're not being forthcoming in an appropriate way, you will pay. We want peace here. We want to allow you to have the electricity or whatever. But if you try to snow us here and you develop weapons, you will live to regret the day that you broke that promise. So we'll see. This is high level. So this one has more potential for damage than the Russia-Ukraine war, because we're talking about nuclear weapons and Iran's threats to more than one of its neighbors, not just Israel. There's other nations they don't like, and so they have talked about dropping the bomb on people. And behind the scenes, there are many Arab countries that will be very supportive of the Americans to be able to get some sort of deal done here, because they don't trust them either. They do not trust them. The leaders of these countries, they work with terror organizations within the country, meaning Iran. A lot of the leaders don't have any use for Iran, and they are fearful of what Iran might do to them, and are doing to them within their country anyway. So I think that we will find a lot of support there privately. They don't like to come out in support of Western or anybody else ahead of other people in the region. But I would say that behind the scenes, there's a lot of people helping to facilitate information, intelligence, and whatever else to try to help guide these talks to the best possible conclusion. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to know what is the right thing here, other than well, the one right thing is they don't get a nuclear grade weapon. Can't allow that. How do we achieve that is the process that I'm not sure about, because they've never been for a long, long time. Iran has not been a partner you could trust, and they have. It's not been good relationships between our nations in a long time, ever since the hostage crisis, um, and even a little before that, actually. So we'll see where this goes. There is a This is the key points. The U.S. technical team, which is expected to arrive in Oman on Friday, will be led by Michael Anton, the director of U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's policy planning staff. Anton does not have the nuclear policy experience of those who led America's efforts in the 2015 talks. Iran has insisted that keeping its enrichment is key, but Witkoff has muddied the issue by first suggesting in a television interview that Iran could enrich uranium at 3.67%, then later saying that all enrichment must stop. That demand, all enrichment stop, also has been repeated by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. However, Iranians remain hopeful the talks could be successful as the Iranian rial has rebounded from historic lows during which it took over 1 million rial to buy $1 American dollars or an American dollar. It's okay to negotiate to make the nuclear program smaller or bigger and reach a deal, Tehran resident Farzan Kivan said. Of course, we shouldn't give them everything. After all, we've suffered a lot for this program. But we'll see. But that's another big, very big negotiation that's going on in the Middle East. Foreign policy, President Trump is not afraid of it. He's out there trying to get it done. He's got his government and administration involved and invested in high level talks amid everything else. So we'll see. Tariff wars. Haven't talked about that lately. We're going to talk about that this morning a little bit in the Southern Fried MAGA morning show. I'm going to just talk about that a little bit, and we hope that something can be done. Hopefully, many countries are coming to the table. It is making a difference. China is one of the big holdouts, and we need that to get fixed. We really do. It is very expensive to companies in America who need parts from China, and it's amazing when you think about the cost here. So I can't say what. It would be wrong of me to say what, but in dealing with listening to conversations this week, we were just talking about what this would mean if someone needed to order something from China, what that would mean if no one else has it in the world. That's truly eye-opening to think about. And yes, there are some things that only companies within China make, believe it or not. I don't know how that happened, but I had questions about that. So I would propose and ask those questions a little later this morning as we come back on the air. But again, I hope you have a great Saturday. It's beautiful weather here right now. We've had a little bit of rain, but still it's beautiful. I love it. Looking forward to some things that are coming up as well. Next week on Sunday, a week from this Sunday, excuse me, week from this week. It's good language. A week from tomorrow, we're going to have a special guest on our morning show, our Sunday morning, basically Coffee and Jesus show, Sunday morning in the Word, we call it. It will be a discussion with an in-studio guest who has a Rumble channel and has had a big channel, kind of dropped it all, and is coming back and has lots to say in this area of mental health and faith. And we're going to have a faith discussion. They're also going to be on many other podcasts. Some maybe have already appeared, and We've been emailing back and forth and talking for on and off for several weeks, but especially the last 2 weeks. And I look forward to that. We'll be announcing that tomorrow, and so stay tuned. But looking forward to the discussion. And they've already put up Miss Regina is the person who's her show, and many of you know her from Ireland. Don't know if she's listening right now. She's several hours ahead of us there, but the dialogue box, and looking forward to that. We'll do an official announcement in the morning, as we'll be 1 week away. Also, on a week from today, I will be interviewed live on Angry Conservative 1981. As a matter of fact, I got to send him a picture. He asked last night during the show. I'll take care of that today, brother. Be on his interview series at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time next week. We'll go live a little earlier, and we'll go live with him and chat for a bit. And looking forward to that. Watched his last week. I'm going to watch his tonight. He has one he's doing. The gentleman can only do it at midnight. Oh, I love that. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be there for that and watch that as much of as I can stay awake for. I think I can get it all in. And then we have a young lady, and I think it's a week from, oh, it might be 2 weeks from today. I think it's 2 weeks from today. I'll double check the schedule. She, a musician who does Dionne Warwick songs, and going to come on for a live interview on Saturday. And I believe we set that for 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll have that. That's in 2 weeks, yes, because next week is the interview for me, 11. Then in 2 weeks, the interview with her. And we'll get a card up for that. Had a nice conversation with her. And look forward to that. Something a little different for us. So some interviews that are coming, and we'll be working on some more. All right, we're going to get off here for just a bit, and I'll be back, I think it'll be 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Southern Fried MAGA Show here on your Saturday. We'll dive a little deeper. We'll talk about tariffs and some other things, and we'll be right back, take a little break. We'll eat a little bite. I just got up and came on. Not good to do that, I guess. I just should have ate something, but I'm going to do that, eat a little bite this Saturday morning, and I slept in a little bit. I usually get up earlier. And we'll be right back with you. Thank you to all the supporters and viewers from many different platforms. You are a blessing to us. You sure are. And my fellow podcasters, shout out to them. I'll be listening in. Try to catch Kim's show, Kim's Coffee Talk, Empty Pockets podcast, Angry Conservative, and I'm going to catch Killer Carl's show tonight. Always watch this Saturday night. Free for all. They out. This evening, usually around 8 or 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So support all these podcasts and others like them. We're going to spend some time today doing that and uploading our own stuff. And we'll see you in just a bit. Take care. This is Dave in the AM. Shout out to you. God bless America. And yes, God bless you. We'll be right back. Let me get a little music prepared here. And you will see us soon. Take care.